Welcome to the questionnaire.
Hope everybody will enjoy.
Are we recording?
Don't have questions.
On the questionnaire.
I've just started.
The QUESTionaire podcast.
Paying strict attention. This incredible podcast.
The questionnaire.
Rated PG-13.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Well,
Look at
To
that.
the questionnaire.
Oh,
Hope
wow.
everybody will enjoy.
Very
Are
cool.
we recording?
Don't have questions.
On the questionnaire.
Wait, how do I
started.
The QUESTionaire
Hold on a
podcast.
Paying strict attention. This incredible podcast.
The questionnaire.
Rated
now wait a
PG-13.
second. Oh, is it because I literally why did I just
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Well,
Look at
To
that.
the questionnaire.
Oh,
Hope
wow.
everybody will enjoy.
Very cool.
hold on a
Recording?
second. Oh,
Don't
that's hilarious. How do I
started.
The
Right.
QUESTionaire
Hold on a second.
podcast.
Dude, is that a
That's-
Muller twins, like the Spider-Man meme? Like, each other?
No, oh, look, man. Oh look, I told you. This is a look, we're live. The
Oh,
questionnaire.
sorry.
It's the
Sorry.
first time ever. Right? I ran the intro and then I pressed some buttons and it like things happened. Right? I was trying to look through some cards, right? And then I didn't have the setup where I actually gave the guests the proper intro. So you already see Luke here, right? But that's okay, right? Because it's dominoes. And a little bit of luck, right? We gonna
Ooh,
pull
nice.
this off.
Nice.
Because,
Look
ladies
at
and
that.
gentlemen, I am the Wade Wilson of hip hop, the unknown factor. And this is the questionnaire. We're chilling here with Jeff Fletcher. We've been chatting a little bit. He might have helped a few things, making sure this goes right and that goes right and this goes right. And, we're doing a little upgrade. And we're gonna, right? Right? And
everybody.
we're gonna get real 90s with it, man. I'm looking like, yeah, we've been chatting for a while. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it. Right? Shoulda. You know what? I thought that's fine. I'll do that a different way so y'all can check it on the Spotify later. I might have to make note to do that the next time. This is the first time I've used this program since I ran NFGR Live. And that was a long time ago. I don't deal with hip hop artists anymore unless they happen to make comic books too, which has actually happened a couple times. But you, sir, are responsible for bringing back something that I just showed a couple of the very old parts of. Because those are some of the original Overpower cards from like the
Mhm.
very first set that aren't worth diddly, right?
The old
They're not.
stack.
Look, unless you got real like I sold like I had all the Age of Apocalypse cards.
Oh, very cool. That's great. These are gorgeous.
Maybe if I still had them. Jeez, don't want to talk about that, right? But y'all, thank you. I want to say, sent me some beautiful things. Firstly, this right here. And for anybody out there, it's the mat, and I want to let y'all know that if you get one of these and you got like 5 to 7-year-old, perfect. All right, perfect.
We field tested that so that it was perfect, like floppiness to like hit over the head.
Nuh-uh. You really feel tested? I can see y'all. But I can see y'all sitting around the office. Hey man, I want to stump.
Oh, I mean, I think that was the first. Pretty sure that was the first thing we did when we took them out of the box. It's like, oh, well, smack.
Holy crap! I don't want to. Oh man, it ripped. Whatever, fine,
Are you trying to take it off seamlessly?
fine. Because I have seen this man as far as just what's on it, and it is absolutely lovely. Now, and like I told you a little while ago, I ain't gonna lie. The main thing played on this at my house is gonna be a version of Pokemon that I play with my
Yeah.
son. But
Yeah, understood.
that is absolutely lovely, right?
Yeah.
Now, you just got brought onto the team. How long ago did you say?
So, man, I've been with the new launch of Overpower since the beginning. Well, just after they did all the legal stuff, and then so that's been about 3 years, working nights, weekends, vacations, all the in betweens, and then first full-time employee yesterday. So it's been a lifelong passion, and it's finally arrived. It's here. It's it's a dream to work on this game. We grew up in these comics. We grew up playing this game, and I said this to someone the other day. It's something that, like, if I were to go back in time to 15-year-old me and say, hey, guess what? It's 30 years later, you get to fucking work on this game and make it and put out cards, and you're gonna work with some of the people you've been like cherishing their art for years now. I would have been like, hey, all right, things are looking good. I must be doing awesome.
I can completely relate to that, man. 'Cause I couldn't imagine telling my 15-year-old self, hey, hey, you know, one day you're gonna interview the co-creator.
I mean,
Like,
pretty
shut
awesome,
up,
right?
and go away. Like, yeah, it'd be such a like you are nuts, dude. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just because I've got a love for Deadpool. I could go into a list that's ridiculous, up to including you, which is somebody that's bringing back a game that I had a lot of love for, man. And it was the first. It was one of the first things in that I remember, anyways, that you were able to take. I know, here's Marvel characters, here's DC characters, here's some Image characters, and all, and you could fight them against one another.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which was phenomenal. I think the greatest example currently of that, I'd say, Hero Clicks.
Yeah. I my buddy tried to get me to play it a couple times, and I had fun playing it, but at the time, you know, this was a while ago now. I think money just wasn't there, or the time to, because that was part of it too. You paint all the figures too, right? Or am I thinking of a different one?
No, that's like Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. The Hero Clicks come painted. Yeah.
Okay,
If you
the Hero Clicks come painted. I must be thinking of the other one that he does, that's you paint all the figures too, but they're Marvel figures. I can't remember. Maybe I must be mixing those up.
I'm not aware of that that is actively like, yeah, I'm not aware of a game where you paint Marvel figures like that. I know, I mean, you could paint the Hero Clicks figures more detailed if you were good at that, you know? Because I know I've seen some Warhammer figures where it's like, dude, what? You know? And they're amazing. So you were the initial start, and I know. Look, I'm gonna open all the stuff you sent me live on the air.
Oh, cool. I'm not sure what we sent you, so I can't wait to see it with you.
The World Legends Ungodly Powers.
Yeah, that's one of our starter decks.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
watch. Mid-show, we're gonna do this, y'all.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the first time, right, that we done this, so we gotta. Oh, look, I'm on. People gonna be like, "What's going on?" I'm gonna be like, "It's my first live show, and I clicked the wrong thing." And yeah, I did that. Look, because I'm backwards right now, right? Where when I put that out the first time, y'all couldn't read it. And, hey, we're gonna have to take a real quick pause. Watch this commercial. We will be right back.
We need to restart this whole commercial because people could probably hear Pokemon in the background.
Please check out this amazing promotion that we have prepared with the questionnaire.
I'm the Unknown Factor. This right here is the Obscure Fragment.
Are watching this show
Yeah, I'll do editing.
with the questionnaire.
So we've edited this awesome commercial together, y'all.
90% off.
We are not giving 90% off.
No, I mean 9.
How about 20?
The only thing that you have to do is enter that code that you have right there.
9.
No, 20.
10.
How about 20?
I'm printing your comics today with Studio Comics Press.
Just use this code right here, right here, right here. Look, I put it somewhere. All right, it's probably actually right here, right. It's right under your chin. It says Quest 24.
That code you gotta enter in our website, and then you will get a whipping discount of 20% in any of the items or products that we have on the website.
9.
20.
9.
20%.
9.
All right.
9.
He wants to give you 9% off. I, as well as Alfonso over there on Studio Comics, want to give you 20% off.
You can get it right there with this amazing code. Just enter it right here. Yeah, just right there. There.
Use that code over at Studio Comics. to get 20% off.
Thank you very much. This is a special one for all our friends of the questionnaire.
Type in Quest24 when you check out, man. You can figure out the percentage you'll get right then because it'll show in your order.
Yeah,
right?
9% off.
It's 20%.
The Questionnaire, the best current comic book podcast existing around.
So happy to have Studio Comics as our very, very first sponsor. Say Studio Comics!
Studio Comics!
Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and do all the stuff that you have to do.
I'm the Unknown Factor with the Questionnaire. Make sure you check it out.
You got the roughness, and we're back to the show. Wait, did I unmute you? Yeah, I unmuted you. What's up, right? We're back, right? Sorry.
Here we are.
Sometimes the kid calls. And when the kid calls, gotta take it. That's why I beat him over the head with Matt, that Luke, and everybody out here saying me. I greatly appreciate it. It's pretty awesome. Right, but now, like I said, now we can actually look, and you can see.
Oh yeah.
You can see if I can hold them in the right spot for my camera.
Yeah, there we go.
You can actually look at these cards. So, what was the process of what you guys initially picked as far as you guys Zeus here, which that's dope. Yeah. The Wicked Wit. Right? Like what was the process of initially going in and deciding who you were gonna do initially?
Boy, I'll be honest, I'm not sure which came first, whether or not they had signed Edward Rice Burroughs, the IP for that set, or if it started out mostly public domain stuff. I'm not sure which one came first. But I will say there were a number of, I love Mina Harker. There were a number of characters that they had started out with that didn't make the cut. I remember hearing some of those conversations because I don't have a lot to do with like the development of the character choices that they make for the set. But, we definitely talked a lot about kind of art direction for the characters. Headless Horseman. Yeah, what a fun character. Yeah, his cards are great. Some really fun cards there. Oh yeah.
So go ahead.
No. So yeah, there's a number of characters that may be reserved for a World Legends set 2 sometimes in the future. Ones that just didn't quite make the cut this time around. In part for choosing characters that kind of help round out stuff from the Edward Rice Burroughs set. Like, hey, we have a lot of strength characters and the ERB characters. We need some energy. So like, some of the larger gods like Zeus and Wicked Witch made the cut, whereas some of the other ones that don't have energy didn't make the cut because they weren't necessarily needed to kind of have something well balanced. So, we're over a full year into the set now. Oh my God, time flies.
I know. I remember when it initially started up. Has it been a year?
I think it's been a full year since it's been out. Yeah, no, it's been a full year. So like
all these cards have the same energy.
Yeah, that's on purpose. Yeah, so we're still finding ways to like mix up the meta and still have those I mean, that set's 43 characters. I mean, there's a lot to mix and match there. Some of the original Overpower sets, I think only hit 20, 25, 24 characters, and this was again, I'm not the historian when it comes to Overpower, but this feels like the biggest set that I can remember, diving into. I think what happened was with the Marvel stuff, it was like they put out sets like every 6 months. So like we've been with this for a year. You know what I mean? So like there's still a lot of characters there. In the first national tournament that they had in February, I think there were only 3 or 4 characters that hadn't seen play in any of the tournaments through the year. and didn't show up at the nationals. So, hey, out of 43, 39 of them saw like decent tournament play. I think that's a really good stat.
That I mean, and I think that's kind of a rare number. I think typically when you get, especially into tournaments with card games like that, I
Mhm.
don't think, and I might be wrong. I'm not big on the gaming side of the nerdom. We'll be real honest.
Yep.
I keep in the lane of reading comics more than anything else. The games
Yeah.
that I play are typically like, ooh, it's comic book related. What's that?
Yeah.
It's just the thing that spikes my brain. Um, and yeah, and I know the sets they put out for Overpower back in the day.
Yeah.
They put out so many different
Yeah.
sets.
It felt like a good amount in a short amount of time. There was the original 3 stat, there was Monumental, then the IQ, Power Surge was another one, Mission Control, there was the Image set.
And there was a DC.
Right, yes, the DC set. Right. What was that? Justice League, I believe. Was it called the Justice League?
I couldn't tell you. And now you got this to where it's completely compatible with those old cards, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple small things that have to be kind of streamlined because they just didn't work in the original game. So there were, in some of the tournaments, a lot of times there were rulings where it was this way, one way in a tournament, and then this way in another tournament, because there was conflicting ideas on how certain rules should interact with each other. And cards, that kind of had conflicting like special card text. So we tried to like streamline that and give answers for those instances. They still have legacy tournaments, they call it, for the NAOL, the North American Overpower League, where you can mix and match characters from the new stuff with all those characters in the old sets from Marvel, DC, and Image. And
go ahead, man.
And then there's our own tournament circuit that's just our current sets, like the modern play. So the ERB set will be legal going forward. The Kickstarter that we just completed in the last few days for the Few and Cursed, that will be legal. Skybound will be legal. Everything going forward will be legal, essentially, for our LRG tournaments that we hold.
So, but would you not make the older Overpower cards legal in those tournaments at any point?
I'm not sure. I think the idea, so part of the issue is that some of those cards from the original sets weren't really balanced really well. So you have certain characters that do show up a lot at tournaments because they're just inherently better and a lot less expensive to put into your deck. If you remember, like, every character had a threat cost, right? You added up all their stats back in the day, and your 4 characters had to equal less than 76 points. So we do that now, but someone like a Superman is going to be really expensive to use, just like Zeus. Whereas back in the day, he had a high energy, but he wasn't that expensive. He also wasn't a great character to play. Like his cards weren't very effective. So to kind of balance that, they said, well, for these legacy tournaments, you can mix and match them. The older characters, you still do it the same way, but the newer characters, we've given characters that should cost more a higher threat cost, even above and beyond adding up all their stats. So yeah, that's just some of the ways that we've made changes to the gameplay to make it honestly more fun and to have people mix up the characters a lot more. We have some characters that cost only 16 points, and they're usually really great as a reserve character. Some people like to play them up front. Oh, is that a pack you've got? Are you about to open a pack?
Well, there's this part of me that's the more you talk, man. I'm like, well, because like I said, I remember playing the card games. I remember it was like you could have like the Darkness versus Wolverine,
exactly,
or like Deadpool, and that will never happen. If it ever happens, I would love Jackie Escato to meet either of those characters. I think it would be fairly comical genius, what
Yeah.
you could do between the Darklings and Deadpool,
Mhm.
like it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why we always loved the game, because it, for growing up, we had those conversations all the time. Like, who do you think would win, the Hulk or Superman, or the Thing versus Wolverine? Like, how would that go? And then it's like along comes this game, and you can do that and figure it out and act it out. It was like, oh, I'm sucked in.
Let's get into this though, because you guys just got a pretty big right as far as a property. You know, that's a pretty big current property you got there with that there Skybound. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got some thing going on over there. I mean, sincerely,
Yeah.
that isn't actively. First, I'm assuming you don't know what that discussion was as far as getting in the details of the, like how long that took, or do you?
I listen, I know it took a really long time. I know there were many, many meetings. I mean, I think it might have been a year and a half, 2 years that they had conversations. Don't quote me on it, but I, my memory is also terrible. So what could feel like 2 years might have been 8 months. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was. It's been a while. We've been fantasizing about it forever. So
You preach that 2 years can seem like 8 months, man. I feel that
Mhm.
in my soul, right
Exactly.
here,
Yeah.
like down to the core.
Yeah.
Um, so I know you guys have got Invincible. I'm pretty sure there's some Walking Dead characters coming out, correct?
Absolutely. Yep. They're part of the set.
So there's this thing Skybound acquired recently.
hmm
Do you get to include the two things he decided to slam together into one universe?
So they are not part of this set. But listen, you've got a friend in me when it comes to that. Like, if we figure out how to get those rights as well, I know I'm interested. I don't know how many conversations the rest of like the large decision makers have talked about this new universe, but listen, there's always Skybound 2, there's always the next set, the next version that we put out. We're hoping to work with these properties for a long time. We don't want it to be just kind of a one and done thing. Like, relationships are great, and especially because they come out with new properties themselves as well. Like what we're seeing with Skybound. Like 5 years ago, was that when they first started doing the Transformers comics as well? Some of that stuff started to pop.
The Transformers comics are fairly new.
Are they
I would
fairly
say,
new? Well, what's the one I'm
yeah.
thinking
Well,
of?
as far as Kirkman having the
Yeah,
rights to where he did
right,
the Void Rivals and everything he's done,
right. That's what I'm
um,
thinking of. The Void Rivals.
two
Is that?
2 years max, and I
There
may
you go. Like I said,
I
2 years
want
can
to
feel like 8 months.
I and again, we got two guys here that are terrible with dates. I need some people in the
Oh my God.
comments being like, yeah, 'cause I don't believe on that one.
Listen, I've got teenagers, COVID happened, back to work happened. A lot of stuff's happened the last 5 years.
Into that. So is it in the Skybound release that you guys are doing now? It's just Walking Dead and Invincible that you've got included in that?
So there's Walking Dead, Invincible. There's another short run of comics from called Birthright. Mikey Rhodes and God King lore. Mikey Rhodes goes into what's called like the Neverland or Neverworld. He's a kid in our reality, and then he gets sucked through a portal. He spends a ton of time in there. He ends up coming back, but he's like a full-grown size adult, and not that much time has passed. So it's a very great storyline. You guys should check it out. And then there's a fourth property called Excellence, where we have like a magician character from that comic that has a lot of energy powers and things like that. So it, again, really helps round out the set, but also like a really great storyline that people should check out. And it's a short run. I think it's only 6 issues. So, but the art is a very unique, different style and very cool. So, that's the other thing we love about this game. We're not we don't want every piece of art through every set to look exactly the same. We want to showcase a lot of different styles, because every, one of our favorite mantras is every character is someone's favorite. So we try to treat each one as if it's someone's favorite and give it that kind of unique perspective and respect, especially for the creators. We don't want to like bludgeon the original source material. You know what I mean? We want to stay respectful to it, and
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
our have those characters work with our game mechanics. So we put a lot of thought into what they do and how they appear on the cards.
Yeah, and I mean that completely makes sense, because when you're dealing with something that, well, I might be trying to share the fact that we're live right now. Sorry, man. I promise I am completely paying attention and heard the entirety of what you said, because it makes sense. In the entirety of that you would want to balance it, because if you think you're bringing in, what Walking Dead characters do you guys have in that?
Oh, do you want me to name off a few?
Yeah, just name, because look, if you put Omni-Man against Michonne, that's
Right.
that's death. That's all that it is. It's not a fight. It's
Right.
she
Yeah.
hit him with the sword broke,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, exactly. She might hold her own for a few seconds, but yeah, the idea is that we've balanced out some of their powers and cards so that they still stay true to the characters and kind of how they interact, but also we want to make the game a fun experience for people to play. You know what I mean? So it's like there's some leveling that we do there to kind of make it still like competitive and fun. In terms of Walking Dead characters, I mean, we've got most of the big hits in there. Rick, Michonne. Boy, let me actually just pull out my starter deck here.
but you didn't get that one, did you?
Daryl, no. So what's interesting is
funny? Yeah.
So Daryl is actually part of the show. So, and we are specifically using the comics as the source material. So that's a very separate rights acquisition that one gets. So like, yeah, and same thing with the Skybound characters. So we are representing the comic book versions of them. There's similarities there because there's it's the same property in the show and the comic. So there'll be some things that look like they might cross over a little bit, but the whole point is to just use the comics as the source.
I'd say in the case of Invincible, the show pretty much is the comic.
It's so close. I mean, the changes that they make, they do it for a changing of the times reasons that I've heard, and good for them. I think that's a great reason to do that, and it doesn't seem random that they're making those choices, and I think it's really smart for them. And when I hear them say things like, well, we were dumb 20 years ago, and people draw what they see all the time, and if they're not necessarily mixed and having a lot of diversity around them, then it's not going to necessarily show up in their work, and I get that. So good on them for changing it up for that reason. I think that's really smart and good for the community. Comic books and games, you can't be more wide and diverse than that sort of community, so why not represent that? I think it's really smart.
Besides that, story plot, plot wise,
right?
Plot wise, it's Invincible.
They hit all the marks. I don't want to spoil the latest season. I don't know how many of your viewers have seen the whole thing. I mean, I think it was the first episode. Wasn't it the first episode? Is that considered a spoiler? I don't know.
Look, all I'm gonna say right now on the show, we're live, right? And we're gonna talk Invincible, the current season that happened. Go ahead. I'll tell you, you know what? Here, man. I'll make it to where you can't spoil anything. Omni-Man and Alan and Mark all just went through Viltrum. All right, they went through the
Right,
planet. They
right.
went through the planet. They were like, you know what?
It's a
We
big
can't
deal.
stop. Yeah, we can't stop this guy because he is literally unstoppable. We're gonna break his planet so he stops. All right,
I mean,
spoil whatever you want. It
you
doesn't
went
get any
pretty
worse.
deep in the season. I think the thing
You
I was
did.
going to refer to is the red dinosaur. I think that's like the first shot of the first episode.
Dude,
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh hell yeah, this is awesome!" Like, man, this show just it hits every time.
I was just trying to make it to where you weren't worried about spoilers no more.
No,
Luke.
no, you
That's
did.
all.
You did great.
Yeah,
Holy-
let's take it real, y'all better press pause or something. They're just
Yeah,
not
yeah.
cared about Invincible, or because I just really ruined. I could go like 60 minutes beyond and give you the actual ending of the series.
We get going, and it's like, oh,
You know,
so many guts.
and I think that's awesome that you have that because, like, specifically. Oh wait, I picked up the wrong stack of cards. Kid, man, wait. Like this versus like Omni-Man.
Cthulhu, yeah. That's a great matchup. I mean, how
Yeah.
cool is that? It's like a mythical creature, godlike demon versus a godlike alien, like who can like tear people apart. I mean, yeah, what a cool matchup.
You know who you
Man,
guys really need to add and just have very overpowered though, right?
yeah.
Steamboat Mickey.
listen, we want to stay happy in the mouse's good graces. Like Lisa, you're not the first person to tell us that. You're not the first person to mention it. But yeah, we want to like play nice.
Look, here's my defense. To say that you can do that, and if you do it properly, it will not affect you negatively. Tony Fleece. Love Tony Fleece. Check out Tony Fleece's work.
Okay.
He's a brilliant writer. He's got, I don't even know what he's working on currently except Stray Dogs, because I know he's doing another book, I believe, for Marvel.
Okay.
Did Uncanny Valley, right?
Okay.
Which they were trying to run longer than they did, but I think it ran for, I want to say 12 issues. I've got them all back here behind me. And it's a great story. And spoilers for this, we're going to be real spoilery on this first live show. That's what we're going to do, right? So if you want to read Uncanny Valley, plug your ears, because it turns out that the main villain in Uncanny Valley is Steamboat Mickey. And yeah, but it's done so well as a story, as far as just saying that people have moved so far away from appreciating stories.
Yeah.
And it's ruining the fantasy world. And, that's the primary animated, you'd watch the cartoon as a child, that first existed, and he was mad.
Oh yeah.
He was angry. So if you do it right, man, all I'm saying, just don't disrespect the mouse. Yeah, you disrespect the mouse, you're gonna have a house problem.
Exactly. And like we want to be friends. So well, now I know the first thing I'm going to look up after we're done with this podcast, this stream.
Yeah, but my point is, Tony did that.
Yeah.
Tony did that, and then he went on and he recently did a run of The Thing. Like I said, I know he's done him and I think it was no, Tim did the Deadpool. Him and Tim. Seeley did something real recently for Marvel as well, and I'm 90% sure that he's working on something else for Marvel. And I know he's done other books beyond The Thing for Marvel, even though he did Uncanny Valley, and that was previous, and it played off of that. So it obviously, and I would have assumed they heard that. I'm assuming at Disney that there's some person that's probably like, this person used Steamboat Mickey, this person used Steamboat Mickey, and they review what they want to do about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like,
and they hired Tim. Marvel hired Tim. Marvel
still hired him.
So
they gave him the okay. Yeah, listen, you're not wrong. I get the approach.
In that one, I'm the devil on the shoulder, not the angel. Let's be real.
It's heavy.
Real clear.
I don't even know how we would start those stats for Steamboat Willie.
You have to make them ridiculous.
I mean, like do we make him like a freakishly powerful being, or is it like he's just a legit little mouse that I mean, is he like a 1111?
You know, you make it to where like he can put Omni-Man's face through the wall and outthink Mr. Fantastic. You've made the mouse happy. Then
He's basically the Beyonder.
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Play it up. Play it up. You know what I mean?
Well, that will be our Disney character set, and we'll make him a Beyonder type. That would actually be funny because, you know, one of the first Disney characters, it's like him and Mortimer Mouse or
No, look, if you guys ever actually get the rights and can legally do Disney characters,
yeah,
you have to have two different versions of Mickey. One of them must be, and it has to be where it's like,
well,
this is ridiculous.
Well, that's what's fun about the set that we put out. Like, there's the when you open up a booster pack, the back slot is oh cool. So you're gonna, do you remember? Hey, have you never opened one of these yet, right?
No.
Okay, so do you remember opening up all the old packs from back in the day, right? It was what, I think 12 cards and a bunch of random stuff, right?
Well, that's been so long, man.
So take a trip down memory lane with me. You would have to open up like 15, 20 packs just to get hopefully 2 or 3 characters, but also enough specials to actually use them in a deck, right? Do you remember that? It was a lot. It took a lot. Take out that pack of cards. You'll find 2 characters and 5 of their 6 specials each. Yeah, exactly. Oh, cool. Okay, so you got Lancelot. So you're upside down. But there we go. Yeah, nice. So you get a character right off of that, and you get a bunch of their specials. So we really collated these packs so that it was super easy to swap characters in and out of your decks. Because we, you know, that was one of the worst experiences in the back in the day, was like just trying to build the decks. I mean, we weren't rich enough to like buy cases at a time. You know, we were kids. We, you know, I mean, granted, packs were cheaper then, but also, you know, minimum wage was like what, $4.50 an hour. I mean, it was low. So, you know, right. Okay. So there's the rest of their specials.
That's. And now you're telling me if I go buy any pack.
Yeah, every pack is formatted the same way. So it's like 2 character stacks on top, and then in the very back slot is an alternate art character. So the only chase element to the game is finding those alternate art pieces for those characters, and you can use that. The regular character card is available in that common slot, you know, one of those first 2 character stacks at the top of the pack. So we've made it. Sorry.
How much of a pain was it logistically?
It's a nightmare. I mean, you know, I mean, Cardamundi is great in that they worked with us really hard, and there were a lot of late weekends, us going through and figuring out how to set up the runs so that the cameras can hit and know to put 2 character stacks in every pack. And then the next 4 slots are some of your utility cards, like those universe cards, and other 1 per decks for other characters. So, you know, it slows down the production line a decent amount, but at the same time, we haven't heard, you know, barely any complaints about how these packs are formatted. We made them so that they're super fun and a really fun experience to open. And what's cool is you go to do a draft event, you buy 3 packs, everyone puts their character stacks in the middle of the table, and then 2 of those, like the random cards, and you get to keep the alternate art character. And then you go around picking characters, and it's just meant to make that super easy to do for draft play. because that was something that was really hard to do in the other format. I mean, it was
Oh my
basically
God.
impossible. Like, you'd be lucky if you had 4 characters say nothing about most of their specials. You're not trying a character, you're trying to cobble together something out of like gum and duct tape.
How to play Overpower draft wise in the 90s. Buy a box.
Yeah, it was a box, and like, what kid can do that? Most kids can buy 3 packs,
Yeah, I mean, I know I spent a lot in Overpower over the time, and I
Yeah.
there were those other times where, because they were related to the comics, it'd be like,
Mhm.
oh, here's a special card in this Age of Apocalypse comic, or
Oh, yeah.
something like that.
Oh.
So let me ask, Luke,
Hmm.
right? Y'all are working with Skybound.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna have anything where it's like, buy this Skybound comic, it comes with this card?
Oh, what have we done? So I believe we're doing an insert. I'm not. We're trying to do things. I don't know. I can't remember if it's happening in a comic or if it's in a magazine. We loved. I used to collect Wizard magazines back in the day. I loved that publication. I loved, the little promo foil things that they had in there. The little mini comics. We're definitely trying to do stuff like that. We've got that stuff sort of planned out a little bit. It's just a matter of, can we do everything all at once? We're still growing, but all of those things are on the table.
I'm listening to you. I promise.
Sure.
Keep talking.
Oh, that looks so cool. We've been working on media kits. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous, right? I have that Gen 13. I think I remember getting that one. Oh man, what a trip down memory lane. God, it's so cool. I was recently.
Sure, man. You want more of that? How about some actual Wizard magazines?
Oh yes. Oh my God. I was telling some of my coworkers the other day, like, hey, listen, if I ever legit become a billionaire, winning the lottery, one of the first 2 things is I'm gonna buy us our own print line at Cardamundi, and then also restart Wizard publishing, Wizard magazine, just to bring it back. I loved that magazine. It was so fun.
Pick a page, Luke.
Any page? Let's go 50. Page 50.
Let's see what's on page 50 of issue 120 of Wizard magazine from God knows when. I didn't look. Oh, this means that this is someone that you
That's
guys
Samurai Jack on the back.
have to.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's awesome.
You guys have to get, at some point, you guys have to get this gentleman to do art now, because this is the page.
Okay. Well, now I want to know. I'm excited now.
You see who this is about?
That's not Todd McFarlane, is it?
No.
Sorry, it's a lot.
That would be, all right, here.
Oh my God. Listen, I had a
page 50. All right,
man. That's
not blaming me for that.
Listen, that's serendipitous. I'm taking that as a sign. Like, something happened. I was talking to someone the other day, and they happened to mention, oh, by the way, they happen to know Alex Ross, and I was just like, what? Like, come on, like, come on. Some of these artists. Oh yeah, Mike Ruth, or is that me?
We're not getting into that yet. All right, look, I'm not saying Jeff made, or I'm not saying Luke, son of a bitch. I'm not saying Luke. No. I'm not saying Luke made the layout for this, but Shiro didn't, all right? And that's all I'm saying. Okay? Whatever. Neither here nor there. Stop messing with me, man. Right. But you literally had somebody recently say they knew Alex Ross.
Yes,
What
and I don't want to go into exactly what the conversation was about,
it's-
but at the
yeah,
same
that's-
time, I'm just like, how do you just like, oh, I just happened to like, yeah, we knew Alex Ross, and I'm like, what? How has this not come up before yet already? Like, we've been talking for months.
but then you're like page 50.
Oh my God! Like, listen,
Out of
I'm definitely taking it as a sign. We've got to figure out how to have
a
that.
good no, dude, I got a good 20 issues of Wizard over there, minimum.
Wow.
Like just
That's-
on my shelf that I kept, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep them. Just nostalgia's sake,
Oh,
whatever. You got like
man.
20 issues of Wizard. So I picked the issue that had. What is the probability of that is real freaking low.
It's not high.
Yeah, you got
What
any
is that?
probability drive over there?
We'd have to get Dave McMillan on here, and he's our stats guy. He's the number cruncher. He's the guy that we have this massive spreadsheet with a lot of like formulas built into it. So when we're scoring the players and like what their cards do, it spits out a bunch of math, and then we kind of like we go around the room talking about like, does this feel like the right balance and cost for these characters? Anyway, yeah, that's Dave. That's our math guy. He would have to give you that probability.
Funny to think that in a gaming thing like that, and I don't know if many people think about that. When you're reading a comic, you need a team. But it's I mean I've dealt with everybody at every level that team from editor, inker, editor. But when you're gaming, you kind of need a team like that. But
Yeah.
then you have to add a couple of things. I don't know. Is there anything to make a comic that could do this? You're like, I don't need that. Oh, you gotta have it. You gotta have an editor.
Comic? I don't. Like to make a like, do we? Oh, like people on our team that we need to
That's
have.
what I'm saying. Well, because you gotta have a letterer who do all the
Yeah.
letters. You gotta have artists.
Mhm.
Are you having the artists do everything all the way through, or do you have an artist, an inker, and a colorist?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. So we have a few artists that will do the full gamut of the whole piece, start to finish. Then there's some that we only have them do pencils, some that will do pencil inks, and then some that just do colorists. So yeah, we run the whole gamut. It's a mix, and honestly, it's like we love seeing people feel successful in the pieces that they give us. So like we want to work with them in whatever way makes sense. Like if someone's like, hey, I'm just going to do the pencils and inks for this, and here's a colorist I do like, we do often try to work with them. And if we're not for whatever reason partnering up with them, and not for any bad reasons, but just business wise, you know what I mean? Oftentimes it's like, hey, here's some examples of the colorists that we are working with on the regular basis here. Are you okay with any of these? And they'll say, yeah, I really like X, Y, and Z. And okay, awesome. We'll work with them for your piece. Like we try to be really accommodating like that, so that they want to continue to work with us, and we want to continue working with them. Like we really treasure those relationships, because it's such a critical component of this game. We don't use any AI art, so like it's having it be all original stuff is just that we want it to be authentic. So that's part of the game.
If you'd have said if nothing more is than the respect to this man right here,
Oh my God.
Turn this interview off, man. Because Mike hates. Look, go ahead. You want to have you want to have an anti-AI art conversation with so many valid points, so many points that if someone's listening, they should just be like, "Oh, well, this is bad. Never mind."
Yeah.
Talk to Mike Ruth.
Yeah.
He'll cover each and every point that's negative. Which for everyone out there watching, there's. I know it's funny. Look, you got yourself in a ha-ha situation, and it looks professional, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that people needed the water that you. Whatever. We're not going into all that. We're not getting that political, right? Play, right? And I do. I tell you what, more than anything, I'm just amazed the way you guys did these times.
Yeah, listen, it's one of my favorite things that we've done and like really tried to hold firm on, because there's just what a miserable experience to open up a bunch of packs and not get anything you were hoping to get, not get anything you could use, not get anything that you've been kind of building around. Like, uh, like who
Bunch of
wants to?
cards.
Yeah, so those are the power cards. Yep. So do you
Well, I know,
those
but that's
are?
what I'm saying. You get packs and you get a bunch of these cards
Oh yes, yes,
in the
yeah,
packs
yeah.
back in the place. So wait,
Right.
are you now? I didn't have a single one of those in this pack. Are the power
That's
cards
right.
not in packs?
Correct. So the power cards you can find in the starter decks, or you can buy our power card station that has it's a ton of power cards in it, and the universe cards and some of the other utility cards. So that if you buy 3 or 4 packs in a power card station, you could probably build a bunch of different decks and be able to just actually build your decks and play, instead of like needing to buy multiple cases of packs just to have enough of everything to cobble together barely functional decks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I can only imagine again, like we said earlier, logistically how much
Yeah.
that hurt
Hmm.
to do.
Yeah.
But if you guys aren't doing this out of love of Overpower, then
Mm.
you're all absolutely crazy, and I think you need to be committed.
Yeah, I'd agree. Now we're crazy about Overpower. No, it
I'm
just
just saying, yeah, if you're not
yeah.
doing it for the love of the game, man.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's like we're not trying to build a billion-dollar conglomerate. We're trying to like build a community back up to like close to the numbers that it was back in the day, and then like have it be a really fun experience. Because look, if this game can be as fun as it was in the 90s with all that was working against it, like we know this can be another major game with these changes that we're making to make it. And listen, it's simple to point out the things that make it better, but it's some of them are really difficult to do. But like, what else are we going to do? Keep making it be shitty? No, like like we want to improve and make it better, and like grow these play groups around the country, make them around the world eventually.
How many characters are in the Skybound set?
I get this wrong every time, but I know it's in the high 30s. 30, it's either like 36 or 38, 39, somewhere in there. It's probably, I'll go conservative and say 36. But
Well,
that's still a lot of characters.
so do you think conservatively, if you bought a box of the Skybound packs,
Yeah,
you'd have a high probability of getting most, if not all, of the characters?
pretty close. So this is what I'll say. I didn't buy, I was gifted from my contributions. I had one box of booster packs. It was 36 packs. Every pack has 17 cards. I had probably 75% of the character stacks. Now, so there, that must have left what, like 10 to 12 characters that I didn't have. But I probably had a special there, one per deck, that's in that rare slot of the pack. So I had zero complaints. That was the most fun I'd had in years. Me and my buddy, we each opened up a box all night and just like tearing packs and sticking them in the binders and organizing them. I was up till probably 4 a.m. just doing that. We started at probably 9 o'clock when we got home, and we just we plunked down, had some TV on, we were eating our takeout, and we were just like, oh my God, look at, because like we had been working on this for a year and a half, like I remember those first emails to those first artists and those pieces and saying, okay, and then we kind of had to iron some things out along the way, and our process just got really, really ironed out by the time we were done with that first set and that art creation process. With Skybound, it was so much smoother. And now with the Top Cow set, it feels like a really well-oiled machine. Sorry, did you not know there was a Top Cow set? There's a Top Cow set.
That's been announced?
Oh yeah, yep, it has. So that's coming out.
You said you're not on social media, man. I run this show. I literally deal with so many creatives that use social media actively to promote things. And I don't know about half the stuff they're doing until they come on the show the next time. Because I don't use social media.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a Top Cow set.
There is. You know, I can't remember what the latest.
Planning on running through Image? Is that what it is? Are you trying piece by piece to get every one of those pieces of Image? Because that's a lot of great pieces. There's a lot of great pieces there.
Listen, at times it feels like an embarrassment of riches. Like, you know, the Skybound was like a dream to work. Like, here's how I've felt about the progression. The first was, oh my god, we're bringing this game back. We're gonna make this set. Look at all this like beautiful Joe Jusko work. Look at all these new artists that we're working with. This is some of the most amazing fun we've ever had. Oh my god, we're talking to these artists that we never thought we would have any legitimate reason to reach out to for. And here we are, like, pestering them, like, hey, we really love your work. Like, I've sent emails, I'm just like gushing and just being like, oh my god, I was such a big fan of this work and that. And some of those artists weren't available for that set. And listen, that was still like an experience, right? Skybound came around. Okay, we've got this process down. We're working with these really great artists again. We've added a few more in, and oh my god, I'm working with this like bucket list level artist that, you know, I grew up reading and seeing some of the most amazing images of comic book art I'd ever seen. And I'm giving him notes. Yeah.
They just over here crushing it, right?
Trying to crush it.
But I think, man, look, Top Cow,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Top Cow started.
Yeah.
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 And I love me some Top Cow.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Like, Darkness with the Darkness and what him and Sylvester did in that.
Mm-hmm.
It was lovely. Wait, that set's out?
No, it's not out. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of that art creation process for that set right now. So that's where I'm saying, like, that was part of the evolution and saying, like, okay, in Skybound we got the process ironed out. We're feeling really smooth, and then we've gotten it to the point where we can even dial in the art a little bit more on those first couple passes. And, you know, again, these artists are so talented and smart and really good at what they do. Like, our notes aren't really like life altering. Sometimes it's like, hey, we need a little more detail in the back, or hey, this character's logo needs to be switched out because they're in the older suit or something like that. You know, fun story with Skybound. We heard that it was a challenge to work with them art-wise because, you know, they're really particular and they're really protective of their IPs, and they should be. It's got a lot of clout. They're really smart pieces, and, you know, they're really good at what they're doing. You know, we submitted over 300 original pieces of art for Skybound, and we had a total of 12 notes, 12 details. And a couple of those were like, hey, a great piece, but we don't want you to show that character yet because they make an appearance in the next season. We don't want it to spoil. Like, okay, if that's your note, okay. Like, and we're over sitting here like high-fiving because we know what we're doing, and we're creating work that Skybound themselves are like, hey, yeah, no, it's all good. You know, it's rare to get anything back, and it's, you know, like I said, it's that small stuff like, hey, this would be during this period of the run. we don't want them to be in this like outfit yet. You can just change that, or you forgot the little symbol on Adam Eve's chest. So
wait, so it was next Thad? Thad's the dude's name, right? He just popped up. It's Thad.
yes,
That's
General Threat.
I got told not to include him, didn't you?
No, actually,
Oh, really?
it was a different character.
I mean, you can say now, can't you?
I guess I can. The season's out. Yeah.
Yeah, we literally
we had
said they ran through the planet earlier, man. If they ain't
that's
watched
true.
this,
That's true. That's true.
right?
So we had there was a card that we had Space Racer on there, and it was very cool. It was awesome. Like I think we still have the piece saved for like possible next set. But you know,
they've already approved this art.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember if we had the piece done or if, because we do fill in some of the holes with like art pulled directly from the comics. So it's all original art. It's either from the comics themselves or we had them created, because what we're trying to depict in the cards and some of the action and stuff is sometimes very specific and not actually ever happened in the comics. So we come up with a scenario and try to paint that picture. So yeah, like I said, it's still all the original stuff, and it's about 75 to 25%.
Okay,
original.
You say you got that top cow in the work, right?
Yes. Yes.
I'm a huge fan, man. Literally, the very first quest we've ever had over here on the Questionnaire on season 1 was none other than Matt Hawkins.
No kidding. That's awesome.
And yeah, man, it was an absolute pleasure. Matt's a great guy out there doing the thing, making sure he keeps it all together with Top Cow, which I know they've just done the rebirth of both the Darkness and the Witchblade as far as what they're doing there.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot going on. So I think it's a good time for you guys to hit that and hit those characters with the researches that they're having. Now, I would assume there's obvious characters in Top Cow that I would be like, you have to have the Witchblade. You have to have the Darkness.
Witchblade's there. Darkness is there.
Angelus is there, right?
Angelus is there.
Right. What's the oddest character? Like, what's the character that even somebody who's a fan of Top Cow would be like, huh? So like Ripclaw? You got Ripclaw, right?
Ripclaw's in there. Dude, it's the Ripclaw art is so good. Joe and I have legit just like texted each other like, oh my god, you gotta look at your email, and we look, and it's just like it's some of the most gorgeous. I mean, that character, that's the thing, I didn't even read Cyberforce that much. Like, I remember picking up a few issues and looking at the art, but you know, through and through, I was just a Marvel guy. That was who I collected. But I would pick up comics that like looked really cool and different. And, you know, for whatever reason, I didn't get sucked into the storyline at that moment, you know, because it was Tuesday. Who knows? For whatever reason, I was a teenager. I was dumb. So, you know, but Ripclaw, man, I remember that character every time that guy was on a page, and I would just like, my jaw would just drop. And the stuff that is coming through with these emails, and you know, the claws and the slashing and the blood, it's just like, oh my god, this is you know, to say that I feel like a kid again is, you know, doesn't even do it justice. It's like I get to relive seeing this stuff for the first time, but like with, you know, 30 extra years under my belt. You know, it's just, it's to have something like this in this world that we're working in right now, like pull me back and like rejuvenate a lot of like just creativity and fun. It's a passion that I haven't really been tapping into for 30 years, and now I get to. I've been you know, the family man and working a job that, you know, great company, great work, I loved it. But comics and games, man, like it'll always have a stranglehold on me, and I'll never be able to shake that. Yeah, it's just been a dream to be doing this, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree, man, and I can relate as far as with what I've done
Yeah.
with the questionnaire. It bloody well amazes me sometimes. But as far as Ripclaw, man, it's funny. The main thing I know as far as his story is when he appeared in the Darkness comic. Because I'll be real
Hmm.
honest, when I got into Top Cow heavy when it came out, and I
Yeah.
blame Garth Ennis
Yeah.
because Garth Ennis is the because I was a kid then, and like then when I read comics, I was like, oh, I like this character. Oh, I like this character. Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
And then I picked up the Darkness, and I was like, who's writing this? This is great. Who is
Oh,
writing it? I want more of his. I don't
yes.
know who he is, but I
Yeah.
need it in my life. And so literally Garth Ennis is the reason that I started paying more attention to the people that were actually creating as
That's
opposed to
awesome.
the characters that I were reading. And that
Yeah.
was I remember the Rick Claw story. Now
Yeah.
let's go real hard, right?
Okay.
I want you first. Who's the Top Cow character that you don't think a fan of Top Cow would expect? And then I'm gonna
Oh,
ask you
oh,
about
oh.
one specifically that I am not even sure that you could get, but we'll get to that. You answer that, and then we'll get to that.
Listen, to be honest, I'd have to like open up. Like, I can't even remember every character that's in the set right now. Man, because it's another big set. Like, I mean, it hovers around 30 characters. So like, you know, 43, 36, roughly 30. That's 100 characters we've pumped into. Oh, and then the Kickstarter that we just completed. That's another 10. So 100. What did I just say? 130, 100. 110, 110 characters that weren't around 5 years ago. Like, all of a sudden, like, we'll be zeroing in on the number of characters that were in Overpower to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, that's sorry, I'm not answering your question. I got distracted.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
Sometimes I just like it strikes me and it hits me how much we've done in such a short time, and I get overwhelmed for a second, and then I like snap back to reality. I'm like, I can't believe this is my life. This is awesome. Listen, I can't say I know the Top Cow characters enough to be like, oh, no one would in a million years would expect this. I can say every single piece of art that's come across our screens has been blowing away expectations. And I mean, you guys are in for a treat. I mean, stick around for by this time next year, it'll be out. It's just, I will say the Angelus art is unreal, along with the Magdalena art. It's just
Let me
the
touch on
words
one.
stupid good come to mind every time I see Magdalena.
Well, then let's talk stupid good.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
This is the character that I'm not sure you would even get the rights to this character.
Okay.
Top Cow, because it started as a Top Cow character,
Sure.
but then went to Aspen comic, that being
Mm.
Fathom, right? And again,
Oh, I
my turn of
remember
rest in
Fathom.
peace. I got so
Right.
much love for that man the moment he
Yeah.
met, and like what he did as far as and he wasn't like I caught him when he was done signing, but he was at the booth and he took like a minute, and I appreciate that man so much.
Yeah.
So is Fathom one of the characters? And all I have to say is if you ever get Fathom, please use Michael Turner's art.
Hey man, I listen, that is
If you can.
a very talented man.
Right.
Fathom is not in the set.
Okay. Well, again, I
but
didn't know if you would.
right. I can tell you Savage Dragon is in the set though. So Savage Dragon, he makes it into the set because he there's a reason why. Man, I should have said anything because now I can't remember the story. So,
He's done things with the Witchblade, and I mean, there's been
Right.
crossovers between those characters specifically. There's been crossovers between a lot of Image characters, but Savage Dragon specifically has
right.
touched the Top Cow universe. I would say more than any other Image character that is not a Top Cow character, unless you want to include Fathom in that. but Fathom actually
Right.
started in the Top Cow universe and then ended up in Action
Right.
Comics. You know,
Yeah.
that's why I was curious when I brought that up, because I know the rights switched and Fathom
Yeah.
no longer technically wasn't
Yeah.
that it was Aspen, you know, and I didn't know what the rights were as far as after
Yeah.
Michael Keaton passing.
I mean,
You got
license
Savage Dragon.
Savage Dragon's in the set.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Savage Dragon.
Savage Dragon's gonna be in the set.
Eric Larson, Savage. Like, couldn't that have been a different conversation? I feel like that should have come in Top Cow. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, listen, we needed that character in there. It's gonna balance out some things in the set. But like you said, it makes sense. He's made appearances. There's the crossover there. So, you know, I mean, technically he does make an appearance in the Invincible stuff, and we like in the comics, like you see him for, I think it's in the funeral scene.
How has that been? Out of curiosity, and I don't know how much you're involved in this process with working with within Image, because Image in itself is a very interesting company, and I don't know. I mean,
Sure.
a lot of people that are as far as that know comics know this. In the Image owns nothing but the eye. Like Image
Right.
owns the name Image and the logo that is Image, and then everything else is creator owned. And several creators have subsidiaries within Image, like Skybound being a perfect example.
Yeah.
So what's been your process? Because obviously now you're like, ooh, we got Skybound. Oh, let's get Top Cow. Ooh, we got Top Cow. Right? So clearly, I assume the goal is, all right, where's the next Image? Who are you going for, right? Like, and you already got Savage Dragon, so I would assume that's an in with Eric Larson, right? I need Super Patriot in my life. Yeah, I said that. You heard it. I said Super Patriot. That's what I said, right?
I mean, listen.
Or Shadowhawk, you know what I mean? I mean, there's so many places you can touch with that, and I would assume that all of you guys are looking and going, we need to talk to Todd McFarlane.
Listen, here's what I'll say that I know for a fact. Like, we sit around talking about characters that we would love to have be part of our game all the time. Like, it's a constant conversation. We're looking at all sorts of stuff. Image, Marvel, DC, anime, you know, and you know, we think about like, do we do things like make this for younger audience as well? Like, do we do things where we make simplified versions of it, where it's like you can basically have kids like, you know, that much younger age range, that like 6 to 9 type age group, you know, like there are games and there's space for those too. And what do those properties look like that we would, you know, put in front of them? Because I mean, honestly, Skybound's a little, it's not for your youngins, you know. It's Invincible. There's a lot of sorry, my volume's messing around here.
There's a lot of, yeah, no, you're good. There's a lot of someone getting their head punched to nothing.
I mean, listen, the amount of blood that you see in any season of Invincible or The Walking Dead, quite frankly, is represented in the cards. Like, it's there. Like, we didn't like, if who was the second character you had in your pack?
In the pack, it
wasn't Dracula, was it?
Oh man, Tarkus.
Oh, Tarkus.
Yeah. I don't even know who that is.
Okay, so Tarkus is the Jeddak of Thark. He is from the John Carter of Mars storyline. Like,
okay.
He's part of the alien race that he meets when he gets sucked through that portal. But yeah, the Dracula cards, that's where we really were like, let's see how far we're gonna push this blood thing. And literally,
I was happy with this pack because I was like, oh, dope, Lancelot. Now I'm just disappointed I didn't get Dracula.
have any Dracula cards on hand, but man, take a look, do some digging online. I can send you some after this.
I,
You know,
uh,
that's the
really,
one
really, it's the fact that you guys have managed what you have already. You've made it to where it's a lot of characters. Honey, you made me wonder how many characters the original Overpower set had to begin with, because like you said, the whole opening that pack and here's 3 characters cards. What?
Oh,
What do you mean? What do you mean? And I can, like, not only are there and 2 of them to play with
yeah, right.
right now. I will say you were talking about a simplified version though, and it's funny because I told you earlier as far as the mat, like me and my boy play Pokemon.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
play 6. I don't play Pokemon with that boy. I'm not trying to get into the full version of that game because it hurts my head.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
If I'm with my friend. But now you got me looking at this, and I'm like, so how do I make it to where me and my boy can play this?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen,
How I work at it.
there's a learning curve for sure, but it's not like we're playing Go Fish here. I mean, there's a lot of mechanics, and you know, there's that mentality of like, well, if it's not easy, no one's going to play it. Well, last I checked, Magic is one of the most complicated things I've ever seen in my life, and they seem to be doing okay. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't want to know. Yeah.
I
Like,
think in the history of Overpower, we've banned maybe 3 or 4 cards total. I mean, there's a new ban list in Magic like every other month. Like, I mean, come on. Like,
yeah, I could not
talk
tell
about
you.
evolving, like, landscape.
They put a set out for Magic the Gathering, and then they instantly turn around and ban 3 cards from the tournament from the set that they
Yeah.
put out yesterday.
It's
It's like,
if you don't have email alerts set up on your phone, you're not going to know that, because it's just like every other day there's like something that's been changed. Like, we debate long and hard before we change rules for whatever reason, or it's not even necessarily that we're trying to change, but like add clarification to make it like if and or not, like sort of formulaic, so that we know we can give answers. And we want people to break the game. We want people to come up with combinations of characters and cards that are so over the top that we just never got to figure that out. Like, we want people to play it that deeply. We love that people have been playing this ERB World Legends set for a year now, and people are still asking questions like, hey, if I do this and this, is that going to change how this works? And it's on the Facebook groups and the Discords and all the things. And a lot of times we sit there and like we start having discussions internally, because it's something we literally never thought of. Something that in the months and months and months of play testing and game design just simply never had that interaction for whatever reason. We love that, and we want people to try and come up with that combination, because all that's going to do is make us work harder and make the game better. You know what I mean? And
all right, so for everybody though, the rule book's not that thick, right? It's not like excessive.
right.
But all I know is Luke just told you to go get a bunch of Overpower cards and then break the game.
Please, like, we would love you to break a game, because hey, I mean, that means that people have dove deep into the characters and really explored a lot of different combinations. So if that means you discovered some interesting, like, kernel failure, and that breaks the game, then that's awesome, because like what a find, like what a cool combination that we must not have thought of or figured out yet. So
Let's get back into something though, man, because you said so you got Savage Dragon in the Top Cal set.
Mhm. Yep. You just
Sorry,
did
I just had to give that look, man, because like I said, I'm an avid Top Cal fan. I read a lot of Top Cal. I read the whole thing where they did the Artifact series. I read a lot of Top Cal in my life. It makes me curious. And Are you include? Did you include all 13 artifacts? No, man, deep cuts. All right, that's how I do it.
Let's say it's in discussion. I don't know how much I should or shouldn't say regarding that, but listen, it's like you're not on the wrong track to bring it up. So again, I only say that because there are functional cards that haven't been in the ERB or the Skybound set yet. And yeah, like I said kind of earlier, there's times where I just don't know what has and hasn't been revealed. So I don't want to get ahead of myself and speak on things that, like I said, yesterday was my first full-time day. So
check it out. Right. So
Yeah.
you got Skybound, you got Top Cow. What's next? Who you guys talking to?
Boy, there's another property that is signed and the deal is closed, but I don't know that it's officially been announced yet. So I promise you, I don't want to be just like cagey and like.
I do know. I was
but I'm more like
information.
I don't know if that's public yet.
Maybe I was trying to get you to say it so I'd get a scoop, because this is the first time the show has ever been live. And I'll tell you right now, Luke, there are times in the past where this show, if it had been live, I didn't even left unsaid, man. Like,
let me send a text.
I've had to edit moments out of this show. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, oh, well, fine. I don't want to edit that, but I will, because either it was a scoop or it was funny, but somebody could have gotten in trouble for either the scoop or the fact of how they said something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, let me just put it this way. I've sent out the text. If I get a response that yay or nay, we can say whatever it is. I'm happy to do so. So just let me clear it first.
No, fair enough, man. I don't want to get you in trouble unless you.
No, but hey,
if you slip on your own accord, that's your own fault, man.
That is true. That is true.
Actions. I will ask the questions that may make them slip, but that's not my fault if you're not.
That's fair. Hey, whatever. Ask away.
So you've got Savage Dragon in this outcast. Is there anybody in the Skybound set to that effect where it's like,
let's see.
Megatron, isn't it?
Listen, there's no one that will be like like if you know those properties, you won't be like, this doesn't make sense. They're in the comics, right? So excellence, probably because it was such a short run, not widely known, but like, again, a character we felt strongly about, worked really well with the game, and is an interesting story, and we'd love it to like shine a little bit. So like, yeah, we love having it in the game. Glenn from The Walking Dead, he's a character. He's super fun. He's a very low cost character.
No, look. Glenn from The Walking Dead. He's a fun character to bash the head in of.
Listen, there's also some fun Legion cards, and the Saviors are in there. Lucille is definitely a playable card that you have.
That should have been a character.
Lucille is its own character.
Like,
I didn't even know how that worked. It's like we'd have to refer that character to another character.
No, man, it's Lucille. I know that would work perfectly. Actually, it is. It's a character you equip to another character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's all 0 stats except for brute force is like 12.
It's low cost, but man, it's hard to avoid.
Yeah. Like it's gonna get you. Oh, it's gonna get you. And if you play, and if that card is in play, and the other player plays Glenn, instant
down. Instant KO. You lose 5 venture. Right?
Now I'm just screwing with your game mechanics, man. Sorry.
No, well, hey, I mean, listen, we're always trying to think up like what to do with Overpower next as well. So, like, that's great. Make Lucille a character for Skybound too.
I mean, if you really think about it, you could do that in a lot of ways where there were characters that you had to equip to other characters.
It'd be like,
Well, the ones that come to mind to me are honestly mainly Marvel characters like Kitty
like-
Pryde and Lockjaw,
yeah,
Robbie Reigns and Cole.
yeah.
Oh, so yeah, Thor with his hammer. You could even do that. You know what I'm saying? My brain went to animals. Really,
You know
really
what's funny? Actually, now that you
hard.
Rick Grimes, his character, one of his cards is called wait, it's not called Colt 45. We had to change it. 45 caliber. That's what it's called. And it's just his gun that he uses it as an advanced universe card.
But you not wait, you couldn't list it as a Colt 45 due to copyright?
Well, we changed it because we didn't want to like risk it. But you know, we did, you know, we looked into it on a very surface level and we were like, yeah, we're just going to avoid it. We're going to change it to 45 caliber just so that it never would come up, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
Kleenex versus tissue or Q-tip versus cotton swab. You know, it's those names that like become part of that, you know, public language, but are in fact actually a copyright thing.
all I know is the conversation we had about the equipping a thing to a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I want you guys to get the rights to Saga. And if you don't make Lion Cat,
Did you
Saga.
say
I said
Saga?
Saga.
What is Saga?
You know what Saga is? I'll end this interview right now.
I knew I was gonna eventually admit or say something and just like totally piss you off. Like
You know what Saga is?
I don't like. If you show me a picture, I might recognize it. I can't picture. I can't place the name right off the bat.
I'm gonna try not to be offended, but I'm gonna really try. It's funny, for the first time I can hold my phone up to my camera.
I don't know what this is right off the bat, but now I want to listen. You're giving me a list of things to look into. Like first there was the Steamboat Willie thing, and now there's this Saga thing that I got to look at.
Uncanny Valley by Tony Fleece.
Right.
Saga. Oh, I'm not gonna look like an idiot.
At least you know what.
It's Brian K. Vaughan. Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, well, because I knew it was the same gentleman that wrote Why the Last Man, and I was like, I couldn't.
Oh, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't bring Brian K. Vaughan's name to my head, but yeah, Saga is the book he's currently writing, and it's genius. But there's a character in there that goes by the Will. I won't give no spoilers for that, man, in case you actually want to go read it, Luke.
Well, now
And he's got a creature. He's got a cat. It's Lion Cat. That's literally the character's name is Lion Cat.
Okay.
And it's huge. And if you lie around it, it'll go lying. Yeah. Anytime anyone lies around it, it's lying.
It's
So
just
you
like,
cannot lie. It's a lie detector, but without flaw. Like you can't, because I remember reading that comic. There's one point where the Will lies to someone, and the cat goes lying, and you just see the Will looking at his cat like, "Gonna send you."
murder.
Like you are my lie detector. You're
So
not
it's
supposed
like,
to say when I do that shit.
So it's like Wonder Woman's rope, but with comedic timing, like added in.
You know,
Great.
and
That's great.
it's a giant alien cat that could rightly eat your face.
Hey man, well, listen, you had me with the picture. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm sold.
Well, and if you read Why the Last Man and you enjoyed that, yeah, then I
So
was.
I don't remember. I never read it, but I remember the visual. I remember the character and what they look like, and I'm like, that was always cool art. Just, you know, there were so many things that I would have loved to have read, but just there's only so much time in the day, right? And
Did you watch it?
Did I watch Y the Last Man?
Yeah, there's a TV show.
No, I didn't know there was a TV show either. Listen, man. Like I said, I'm just now diving deep. I've been at that kind of like surface level for the last 3 years. Basically working two jobs and 3 being a dad, and now I'm back in it, and I'm like getting a list of stuff written down that I want to look into and read and just absorb, and like kind of start going back through the years and being like, okay, what also is coming out that's new? So it's a big world out there.
Well, here, let me just make it worse. And these are not only like, hey man, you should really go read this. It's also like, hey man, these characters would be awesome in Overpower, right?
Absolutely. So like
James Tinian. You know who James Tinian is? James Tynan. James Tynan the fourth.
You're gonna make
Luke,
me.
if Luke, I've been running this show for 3 years, and if somebody came on and said that name and I said I didn't know it, I think I'd have to cancel the show. It's okay. You're in gaming, not comics.
There we
right?
go. There we go.
So,
I have
we're
a
gonna
lot
give
of
you,
comics,
we're gonna give you,
I don't have a great knowledge of them.
So I'm gonna give you a pass. It's
More than
everybody
most
give a
of my
pass.
friends, but not nearly as much as I would like.
Dude, I've been running this show for 3 years. If I don't know comics at this point, what am I doing?
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like I should be able to list off more creators than I probably can, in all sincerity. But no, James Tinian, he did Something Is Killing the Children.
Oh, okay. See, I've heard of that. Like, I've heard of that title. Like, I've heard like, yes, you need to look at this. So
Yeah, Erica would be a phenomenal character, and then what you could do with the whole house of the houses within that book, as well as the monsters in that book, it would be so interesting. And then, I mean, if you're dealing with uh James, then you could just essentially be working with Tiny Onion, which is his imprint. That's part of. I mean, they've worked with it. He does stuff through Boom. He does stuff through Image. He does a couple of things, but it's Tiny Onion is
Okay.
his. It's House of Slaughter. They got Department of Truth. They got several other things they've done. But I think it'd be interesting to see certain Department of Truth and uh, Something Is Killing the Children characters, because that's a real interesting combo. And they're very look, dude. Those books are about as different as you can get. Because one's about a secret organization that's trying to keep the fact that monsters really exist hidden, and the main character is like, I don't like how this place runs. The other one's the Department of Truth, which is like saying that, hey, the U.S. has this department. It's the Department of Truth, and it makes sure that not enough people start believing something to make it true, because that's the premise of that comic is if enough people collectively believe something, it will make it true.
Ooh, I bet that would make so. Like, do you remember playing Overpower and you had location cards where you could, like, place an extra card? It would be fun to like use, like, I could see some of those ones that you just listed off as like, oh, that'd be cool for them to have an inherent that, like, maybe there's some sort of bluffing mechanic, like,
Oh my God, no, dude, you can make Flat Earth a location.
I take it that's a location in the comic.
Well, no, it's a point in the comic where they're like, enough people are starting to believe that the Earth is flat. They're finding the edge.
Okay. Oh,
we have to go. Yeah, we have to go kill them all, so this doesn't spread and make the Earth actually flat. So they literally showed up, and these people are on the edge, and they smoke them. My whole fact of that, like, you know how the Earth's not flat?
Yeah.
You know how you really know?
Yeah.
You know how you really know, though? It's a simple thing. Look, if the Earth was flat and there was an edge, companies would be selling tours to it.
That's true. You speak facts. That's a good point.
Yeah. There'd be money. There's money to be made. You best believe.
It's just too good. So that's my Tim Robinson impression.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that. Oh my God, dude. If you guys have Flat Earth as an Overpower location,
listen, I love when people come to me and say, hey, so, like, fun story with my kids, like when I told them what I was doing and like I'm going to be taking this role. And they've known the whole time that I've been doing this stuff like part-time. And you know, the more that I tell them about it, the more excited they get, and the more they like, oh my god, have you heard of this? Like, this show is really good, and this character is really cool. And you know, that's just been fun. I love every time when you tell someone like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is the game, and these are some of the things that we do to kind of create stuff for the game. And you see their wheels start turning, and they go, wow, that would be really cool if you could do this with this location. It's like, yes, that is cool.
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. You've done told me who you were working with, and I'm like, I know who is closely adjacent.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I know from the names that you guys have dealt with, for you to go right over here to Tiny Onion,
Yeah.
and unless that's who you guys signed a deal with, and you just won't say it because it's not.
This is you fishing for more information. I do not know anything about Tiny Onion. Like, that was a new name to me. So I'll
If that is who you have a deal with, and you just did that, sir, you should go into acting.
I can neither confirm nor deny. No, I know nothing about Tiny Onion. Not Tiny Onion. Different publisher altogether.
McFarlane.
Listen, I would talk to McFarlane at any moment. Here's the other thing too. I don't know that everyone that they've also talked to. So they're constantly having conversations. Sometimes it's like, I'll say to them like, hey, you know, I was thinking about this property the other day, and they're like, well, yeah, we talked to them last month. Like, oh, okay. I guess I'll stop like digging real deep. So like, there's conversations being had with so many people that, again, I just don't even know, because, you know, there's a whole group of people that have been doing this day in and day out for, you know, multiple years, and they've been thinking about these sets, so they've got a list of ideas that they have going too. So, you know, in some ways I feel like I'm coming in late to the game, but if anything, I'm just like, oh no, okay, we're already talking to them, cool, like, awesome, I'll let that simmer, let them figure that out. And then, so this is actually fun. In the last, 6 months, one of my favorite things to do is go to one of my favorite comic shops in New Hampshire, and they have just these like grab bags for $5. They just throw a bunch of random stuff. Sometimes it's themed, like, oh, it's 20 horror comics, or it's 20 just random small publisher comics, or it's 20 comics from this one run of some series, and it's $5. And I go in because they have them all lined up, and I go, yep, that looks cool, that looks cool, that's cool. I put them in a bag, I get them home with the 1 or 2 other comics I went in there specifically for, and then I just open them up and I look through a stack of comics that I bought for $20, and I peruse and I go, wow, this is really cool, or this looks interesting, and then I'll find myself halfway into an issue and I'm like, this story's not for me, and I'll toss it. But then I might be like, well, I love how they drew this sort of artwork, and like what the artist is doing with these characters, like, wow, that coloring is really good, and I'll like take notes and I'll put them in a stack, and like, okay, go through this later, and like try to pull out names that like maybe we would work with in the future. So it's, there's obviously more organized ways to like kind of do that sort of work, but at the same time, it's something that I just legitimately love doing and being exposed to, and like just going through a stack of stuff and being like, because I didn't have this stuff as a kid, you know what I mean? You would go to a shop, and where I grew up, it would be rare to find old issues that you could buy a ton of for low money. It was, everything was always boarded up and on the wall, $50 behind the counter sort of thing that you wouldn't touch. So now I'm a grown up and I have grown up money for the most part. Like I can spend $20 and be like, what a cheap thrill to look through 100 issues of random stuff and be like, 90 of these weren't for me, but 10 of these, I would love to like either read these or like talk to these people for some reason, you know?
I don't know, man. Recently, my endeavor was to just recollect the entirety of the Age of Apocalypse and to have it once again. And I achieved that today.
Good for you. What was the final piece? What was the closing?
The Amazing X-Men #1.
Oh, really? Wow. It wasn't even like the Omega or the Alpha issue. The like,
Those are two books that I kept from
oh,
my collection,
well,
and I still had that. I sold all of the middle of the rest of it because when I sold it, it was a nice substantial chunk that I got for it. But I was like, I'm keep. Actually, I think I had 2 copies of Alpha and Omega respectively. So like I sold the entirety of the set. Then I was like, I'm keep because look that comic has one of my favorite lines of all time in a comic book, which is I can't. I'm concentrating. And then he rips Apocalypse in half.
oh my God.
Like that's just, well, I don't know if did you read that?
Oh, I did. You know, I can't say I remember every panel, but as soon as you said it, I can. I'm constantly, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Like he's just getting the crap beat out of him.
Oh my God.
Just getting, why won't you fight back? Can't concentrate. Rip.
Man, you know, Wolverine sometimes I feel like is a bit overused of a character, but when he does things like spends 3 issues thinking that he just has a metal stump for a hand, and then he pops those claws through this, I almost screamed. I was like, what? I pulled the wool over my eyes again. And like that is, it's one of the best reveals that, I mean, and it's such a low-hanging fruit, but man, like just you don't get an inkling the entire time that he even could use it if he wanted to. It's just, it's there. You don't even think about it by the end. And then when he does it, you're like, you got me again. You got me. Good job.
Yeah.
Well done. Bravo.
Yeah, they hid that really, really well as far as, because I mean it makes sense. Why would he not have his claws?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The second you think about it, you're like, yeah, obviously.
Like, oh god. Forearm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the fact that it's like he didn't, like, you think he'd have 3 slits in that where he could have used them. Like, why not?
I feel like I probably went back and like looked at every nub and been like, are there holes there? No, I don't see anything. No weird shading. Yeah, X-Men has been my call sign for video games ever since Age of Apocalypse. That's been my video game sign on. X-Men. It's just like that's me. That's,
oh my god.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You realize that book's kind of worth some money. The first issue, because it's the first appearance of that character.
Yeah, I love
most people hate that character to the point where they'll sell you that book for $1. It's like a $20-$30 book, man. But people hate that character. I mean, because do you realize what they did with that character later, Luke?
Listen, I know that there was some controversy.
So you know the Messiah.
Thing. I know there's something that happened, but man, he was a cool ass character. He was so badass in that run of Age of Apocalypse. It was so cool.
Yeah, during that run, it was phenomenal. My whole opinion. Let's get real deep in the comments for a minute. They screwed up with that character when they took and they did a book and they called it X-Men Disassembled, and they made him a messiah like that. If they were gonna do that, it said Disassembled, which the previous one was also which clearly was the Avengers, where the Scarlet Witch went.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you do a Disassembled and you have a character go, woohoo, but not in the way of I'm gonna make everything holy. No, they really lose their mind and start killing you all. All right, they get like They don't make it. Don't try it because they did. They tried to make it nice because the Scarlet Witch is crazy. No, make it 10 times crazier. They
Yeah.
did not do any favors to that character with what they did tonight. Because like, it's a $20-$30 book, dude. I bought it for $1 because the dude hated it. I knew another guy that if he'd have had a copy, he'd have sold it to me for $1. These people run comic book stores. They make a living selling comic books, so they're both like, nah, fuck that character.
What was the other one? The whole Onslaught storyline. I love that with a passion.
That's the one I'm trying to collect again.
Yeah, awesome. It's so good. I bought an
Oh.
issue of Cable recently that was all polybagged, and it had an Overpower card in it, but it was also I think it's one of the Onslaught special cards. Is that right? I don't know. It had an Overpower card in it, and it's an Onslaught issue, and I was like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna buy this for 50 cents. Like, I'm not an idiot.
Oh, now I want to find, because that's where I got the Age of Apocalypse cards for
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
copies.
Yep, exactly. No, and like I said, we've had discussions of like, we talk about that nostalgia angle, right? And like all that stuff that bubbles up, right? Like I talk about wanting to restart Wizard Magazine because what a great publication and fun, and the flipping through, just reading articles about like what these artists are doing. I always found that fascinating. One of the other things, like we talked about doing, do you remember the large placard side, like the 5x7 size character cards that were promotions? I think you could mail away for them. We definitely had a lot of conversations about doing those for sets. The marketing dollars went elsewhere, but do you have some up on your wall right now?
I'm 90% sure that binder contains carnage.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, a buddy of mine has I think he has all of them, but I always see the Gambit one when I walk into his like office down there. They're so cool.
So like who you doing that, man? Like what? But no, here let's go this, right?
Yeah.
Let's say on the table, you can have Marvel, or you can have DC. You can have one of them for the game.
Oh,
to put in the game, right? To put in the game. Now, I know you said you were a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Take your own opinion out of the equation.
Sure. Okay, fair enough.
Make it purely business.
Purely
From a purely business perspective. Now, especially looking, and you have to think, Superman did really, really well in the theaters. The Marvel films have kind of been teetering off with how much they're making, and people are like, there's superhero fatigue. But the Superman film killed it. They're about to finally cast Jason Momoa properly.
Yes. He should have been that character from the game.
I said that on the show. I don't know how many times. Long before Jason Momoa was ever cast as Lobo. The dude looks like Lobo.
Yeah. With no makeup.
Yeah. So like all you gotta do is like put makeup on him. Who's he? He's Lobo?
It's Lobo.
What do you mean, who is he? Are you blind? Do you not know comics?
Yeah.
Right? So based on all of that and what's going on within the entertainment industry, knowing that that's about to come out, knowing that at the same time, they got Avengers Doomsday and all of this coming out. What do you think would be best for the future of the cards to go with DC?
Oh.
Do you want Cap? Do you want Superman? You want Spider-Man? Or you want Batman? You want, you need Deadpool or you need Lobo? Like where you going? Where you going? Right? Deadpool's gained a lot of steam. Lobo's about to gain a whole lot, though. A lot of people who've never heard of that character are about to.
What I could say is that I could easily see a case made for either one. My love will always be Marvel first, DC a close second, but I think for the fans of the game and the community, a real solid would be to pick DC, because I think those characters didn't have the best representation in the original game. I think we could make DC be really awesome with the amount of just knowing the hours and rounds of thought and discussion that we put into sometimes a single card, a single inherent ability, a single stat. Like there's discussions to be had, and I think we could really do some beautiful work with DC and fix a lot of the characters that people that played really hardcore could say immediately, like, yeah, they never worked, they're unusable. Like, we could make those characters usable. Like we said, like every character is someone's favorite, and we would treat DC the same, and I think give it the thought and the mechanics that just don't really exist in that first DC set. So I think the moral high ground would be to do a DC set. Now, if
are you just saying that the Marvel set is easier to put and play within what you guys are currently doing than the DC cards were?
No, I think we could easily do both of them. I think neither one would be more difficult. I mean, obviously the character roster and the material is very deep. I mean, sometimes I'm looking at stuff from like the 80s and just being like, this is really cool. Like sometimes stuff that was only like a mini series, and sometimes those characters pop up like years later. They disappear for 10, 15 years. I would love to see some of those characters make appearances in the sets. And both of those publishers have that kind of depth that you could go 30, 40 years into the past and be like, wow, there's, that's the thing that I loved about the Marvel, like, MCU. They started with Iron Man. He was not the top. Iron Man, like, if you had said to me as like you're gonna make an Iron Man movie first, I would have been like, really? That's crazy. Like, okay, sure. I would have gone and seen it, obviously, but like, there's just so much rich material in both. I think we could do ungodly amounts of fun work with both. Like, to me, it would be like, my first love versus my, I don't know, first car. I don't know. Both hold a lot of big place in my heart, right? Like, growing up and coming of age type stuff. Like you're dealing with apples and oranges. Like, they're different, but they're both fruit and they're both delicious. I don't know. I would have no problem doing either first. I think.
But you think DC deserves it more because they've never gotten their real treat? Has there ever been a DC card game besides that? Because I know Marvel, and Marvel's got Rivals going on right now, which is the online, which I think would probably be your big opposition as far as for them wanting to be part of Overpower. Would be like, well, we already have Rivals. Why wouldn't we just make those physical cards if we wanted to do that? Go away.
Yeah. I don't know that there's ever been another DC card game. There probably has. I think it would be weird if there hadn't been, but I don't know of one off the top of my head. But then again, I'll say this, I haven't been deep in the world of TCGs either. Like, I played Overpower as a kid. I tried Magic a few times. And it just it didn't click to me. It didn't feel natural to the stuff that like I was really into. So like, and on top of that, it was complicated. So like I said, when Overpower hit, it was like, oh, this is complicated, but I'll give it that extra attention to like make this work for me, because I love what I'm doing already. So like, I'll put in that extra time for the learning curve,
Yeah, and the only thing I'm seeing, because I just had to Google that real quick. Luke, I'm not gonna lie, because I agree. Like, okay, you did, and this is the thing that I pulled up, which is just like it's a deck building, but that's not.
Huh.
I wouldn't say that's comparable because it's a thing where you buy a box You
Sure.
get what's in the box, and it's not like there's expansion packs to go get where you can get other characters and this and that.
Is it more like Lorcana, where it's like, here's a deck that you play with?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Which,
Yeah,
which is far
right.
different, and I think it.
Yeah.
There's a bit that it's not as nerdy, man. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, right. It's not as nerdy. All right, you know.
It's a good way to put it.
I mean, I don't know how you see. I mean, because just in all sincerity, if you look at it, that's like there's something that this is way more nerd culture than that is. Not that they aren't both
Yeah.
nerd culture, but I think this is more systemic nerd culture. That's more something that someone could just be like, "Oh, I looked at Marvel film. Oh, well, hey, that game looks neat," and then they could play it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Exactly.
Overpower. Yeah, Overpower. You're gonna play that card game before you get to Overpower.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Overpower is a platform, and we work with IPs to bring their characters in our game and have them meet in the middle. And you know, we try so hard to make sure that the characters that those cards that you play, we want you to be picturing like, oh, like I'm just trying to flip through this Invincible.
Omni-Man just punching Jackie Estado in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
rude, man. Like, I like Jackie, right? And I really
think
think
that's a rude dude.
Oh no, here. Do you think there are certain characters that, and the one that comes to mind more than anything would be the Darkness, Jackie Escato. That like, do you put certain rules in effect? Like, can you make it to where it's day or night? Because look, if it's night and you're Jackie, you can get a power boost. Like, is there a card like that you played like Utter Darkness? And like, I feel like that should be hard for Jackie because it would give him an advantage because I mean, there's a reason Superman had to grab him by the neck and take him up to the sun to make him stop.
Boy, I don't know if there is a Darkness card like that. I'm trying to let me.
I thought she was gonna say that. I was like, wait, you said there was a Darkness card.
Well, no. I mean, like at first,
yeah.
for one of his like special personal cards. So
You literally have it pulled up in front of you on a list.
Going through the art file now. Just looking at his specials.
Yeah, list.
We have one called the Heart of Darkness.
And there's one called Darklings, or at least they're better.
There is one called Darklings. I have that pulled up right now.
Like, I'm like, there better be.
Funny enough, we don't have any art for that one yet. I don't think it's been assigned.
That's, you know, I kind of want you to do what they would do so often in the comics, but I feel like it could get you guys in legal trouble. I still wonder how they got away with it in the comics sometimes, where he would literally like have the Darklings dressed up, and they would be in other superhero costumes that were Marvel and DC, like Wolverine, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, like all these. And I'm like, how are they not getting like? I feel like they're walking a real thin line here.
Listen, we changed Colt 45 to Caliber 45 because we specifically don't want that kind of heat. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I see that sometimes too, and I'm like,
use the original art from the comic. What can they say?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it's like, oh, there was a Marvel comic floating through the scene. Like, I don't know. I don't.
No, it's not. You know what I'm talking about? Like, literally the Darklings.
No, I know.
Okay.
I remember that being a thing. I can't picture it in my head, but I do remember that there were those crossover characters. I don't know how. It's a murky world, man. Lawyers, that's legit why you pay lawyers, sort of thing. And when they tell you, hey, no, we can't do this sort of crossover, you go, okay.
I think they got away from it in a parody satire aspect more.
Well, that's the other, yeah. So the game, you're selling the game, so it's not like a one-off thing. It's like they're constantly going to be using that card. So,
but it's part of the character.
but it's part of the character. Yeah.
You're like, man, I'm gonna defend this for you right here, Luke, right now,
Talk
right?
to the lawyers again.
It is part of the character. That is part of the character's history. He did that so many times. And then somebody would be like, well, you could use dark links. Yeah, but those are the funniest ones, and we're trying to sell the game.
Yeah, right. It's about moving.
I don't like literally. It's and if you use if you can get Top Gal's permission to use art that's actually been in the comic, it already exists. Leave us alone.
That's
But
true.
then you're making the mouse mad, and you might have problems working with the mouse later. So there's that.
There's that, and we want to stay friends. There have been a couple crossover pieces of art that we've been like, hey, we'd love to see if we can use this for our own promotional reasons, but there'll be times where it's like, well, both parties only agreed to use this under certain circumstances, and this isn't one of them. So, like, okay, fair enough. It's rare that we put up too much. We've been pretty agreeable to most terms in terms of like what we can and can't use, as far as I know. I mean, again, I'm not even the business side of the whole operation. It's you're talking to the guy that likes to make pretty things and make sure the logo pops.
Did you go back? Were you one of the guys that went back and made sure, as far as kind of revamping the Overpower logo a little bit?
Yeah, I did the logo. Yeah,
because I mean that very much pays homage
and
to the
that's
original
just it.
costume.
Like, we wanted it to feel familiar, but not the same. You know what I mean? We wanted it to kind of evoke those senses, those memories, and have it like, we want it to be clear that it's different. And part of the reason, that's why we went with like the blue background. We wanted it to like stand out, and that's our standard back for the card, no matter what set we put out.
Look, you invoked enough in me to where I was like, Facebook Marketplace, Overpower cards.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. Were you finding anything good?
I literally asked my comic book shop. I was like, "You got any Overpower cards?" Dave, who's someone's been on the show in the past, as a co-host, he's like, "I haven't seen Overpower in forever." And then Eli's like, "No." And then I had a conversation with him. I was like, "Oh, blah blah blah." I was like, "They sent me a sample of the new stuff. It looks, it's looking cool. They just got Skybound, this and that." And then he's like, "They just got Skybound."
Oh yeah.
Like his brain turned to. Have you guys had luck getting this into retailers? Because I really feel like.
Yep.
Okay. Because I don't know why that wouldn't be like. I feel like that's something you could sell to a comic book shop so quick. Look, it's invincible.
Exactly, and every con that we've gone to, every show, that people are like on us, like they're glued. Part of the issue has been we haven't done a ton of like upfront marketing just yet. So like we actually have a ton of stuff that's going out now because our original print window for the set got bumped by a few months. So like we didn't want to advertise too early and have people be too upset that it's not coming out until August. So part of the approach was like, okay, start our marketing push like a certain amount of months out from the launch so that people aren't tired and frustrated that it's not out yet.
Wait, so the Invincible set's out though, isn't it?
It's not out yet. It launches in August.
Oh,
comes out in August. So now we've got ads, we're sending out marketing kits and postcards and doing all the mailers and outreach to we're going to be at ACD Expo in Wisconsin coming up at the end of May, so we'll be there. A lot of retailers. That's a huge show for retailers to come and check out product for their stores. So yeah, that's the next event that I know that we're going to be at.
All right, so you got that coming out in August.
Yep.
You got Top Cow in the works.
Yes.
Do you have any other properties or maybe a sequel to one of the sets that you have that you're going to access more characters that you can discuss?
So here's what I'll say. I did reach out to the boss man.
Yeah.
He hasn't responded. If he had, I would definitely say one way or the other. I know the deal's closed. I've actually been in calls with this publisher and talking about the property. So like I know it's moving forward, where I physically don't know if it's been announced anywhere yet, and I don't want to get ahead of the company as a whole.
So it is another comic book company though.
Yes. Yep.
Feel like I'll answer that.
yeah.
I seen you like trying to be sneaky.
I was like,
Yeah. Is it as big as Top Cow?
Neither.
Part of Image. Is it part of Image?
No, I'll say that it's not part of Image.
It's Boom.
No, but they have some really interesting titles though, right? That name does strike a bell. I couldn't name off Boom like titles at the moment. If you showed me some, I'd go, yes, I've seen that. So
something is killing the children. Luke,
oh, that's Boom.
Killing,
okay.
You are killing me. Sorry. I mean, I've had Ross Ritchie on the show a couple times. Ross Ritchie is the founder and former owner of Boom Studios.
Okay.
He doesn't own it anymore. For anybody out there, don't send him no pitches. He don't want him. His wife told him he got close enough to a heart attack. It's trying to avoid it. Leave the man alone. But we might see him over here on the questionnaire at some point later again, chatting it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not a here nor there. Not Boom. Nothing with Image.
So listen, what I'll say is the next time you have me on, I promise to have more knowledge of what's out there currently and be a little more tapped into and finger on the pulse, sort of, as they say.
It's not like this wasn't impromptu, man. I was like, let me hit up Liz. What do you got for Saturday?
Yeah, you're the comics guy. I'm the card guy.
Yeah, I'm the I literally hit her up. Like I think it was like Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was and it was because she touched base with me. And I wanted to let her know, like, hey, getting you some dates and everything is top priority. And then my brain went, anyway, what you got down for Saturday? Which I don't know if that was necessarily a good idea on my part, but I did it.
Hey, we're here.
Because you had to do this template.
You almost tried to get me to do a flyer.
That's good. Man, I'll send you the information. Go tell you to take a picture of your head and do it right now. But then you have to put 2 pieces of promo art for the Top Cow set.
I think we can do that. I think we can.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. I think we can do that.
What kind of man? I'm kind of like I want to. You have Savage Dragon in that set, man.
Yeah.
That is so strange. Like. Come on, you got Super Patriot. Did you get Super Patriot? Do you know who Super Patriot is?
Listen, I know the name Super Patriot. I couldn't. If I see it, I might be able to say, yeah, okay. Like,
look, dude, the era of comics that you're coming from, and we've been talking.
Show me.
I promise you.
Show me a picture.
You see this character, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, I know that goofy looking, like, oh yeah. The Super Patriot.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's familiar. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Like that character is like, if you see it, it will embed itself in your brain.
Right.
It won't ever leave. Yeah, man, characters like that.
That's awesome.
You're not.
What? What's that?
I had a thought.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to just sit here and continue to throw out names and names of publishers because I could do that for far too long, Luke.
All you're doing is giving me a list of things to look up later.
Well, do you know what Coffin Comics is?
Is that Vampirilla and what is it? Coffin Comics? Is that what you said?
Coffin Comics. I don't think he has Vampirilla. It's Lady Death.
Lady Death. I'm sorry, I always get those two, like in the same boat, but they're not. It's what's
Brian Polito.
There's the guy, is it something Jack, and he's like kind of like an insane looking guy.
It's not
Pumpkinhead Jack, or Not
Look,
violence.
I know the character because we've had somebody from Coffin Comics on previously, and we
Okay.
discussed that. And there is a character that ostensibly, because you know that's Brian Pulido, who was the guy that created and was responsible for a lot of Chaos Comics back in the day.
Chaos Comics, that's what I'm thinking of. That's the word that keeps like
So you're thinking of Evil Ernie?
evil. Yes, thank you. Evil Ernie. Yes, that's
I
that.
love Evil Ernie.
Yeah.
Another man that is responsible for one of my favorite lines in comics. When Smiley goes, "What'd you do?" Well, I decided I was going to spin this, and regardless of what number it landed on, I was going to go down there and kill him to show that I had a choice. And I'm like, Jesus, man! But
Holy,
how are your choices? Always make sure that you're making your decisions. No one else is.
that's
Don't let them
fantastic.
control you. Sometimes that has to include murdering someone, according to Evil Ernie. But that's neither here nor there. No,
Right.
unfortunately, and I really say unfortunately because it annoys the crap out of me on a personal level to a certain degree because I was a big fan of Chaos Comics. I loved Evil Ernie. I remember when they did the whole Armageddon and they had to take the company down because well, I heard it was taxes and an accountant. I don't know, and I'm pretty sure that was the whole story. But blah blah blah. But within all of that, and what happened, Brian he wasn't able to keep the rights, and I don't know the whole backstory of this. I'm sure for anybody that wants to go check it, you can find it online exactly what it was. I don't care that much unless I'm talking to Brian Polito, and then I'll ask him.
Yeah.
But he lost the rights, and he doesn't have the rights to Evil Ernie anymore. So I know they created another character
Yeah.
within Coffin Comics to sort of play to that character because poor Lady Death
Yeah.
and the story they were playing, you kind of need Ernie.
Yeah.
You know?
Had like a counterpart to like bounce off, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so I know they created the character, and I cannot remember his name. My apologies for everyone over at Coffin. Um, I mean, because I mean, I like Lady Death. I've read some of the stuff since they've been done, but
Uh-huh.
it's just there's this part. It's like it's missing something,
Mm,
right? So when you look at Overpower
yeah.
and what y'all are doing, do you ever look and go, it's missing something?
Would it be this next set that comes after Top Cap? What, or what do you I get keep going to that. Keep trying to keep going to that. Maybe I'm
Yeah, no, I want to know your opinion as someone that's played the card game,
oh
played the previous games.
oh
Is there something that you look at this game and you're like, it needs that? Like it's missing that little like it needs that. That would make it so like it's good. Good. I really enjoy it. It's pretty dope as it is, but ooh, this little thing. Like I said, I enjoy Coffin Comics. I dig them. They're dope.
mhm.
Man, if you can get the rights to Evil Ernie, have that character back.
Mm.
Like
see.
so it's good back.
Okay. Boy, I think the world of anime and manga is so deep and rich. Like I would, it's an interesting case. It's an interesting case, Mod. There's so many different IPs out there, and the people that love them are diehard fans. But are they widely enough known to support releasing and doing a whole set for? Not sure yet. Like we're trying to figure out which of those sets makes sense or which of those kind of IPs make sense. There's ideas where we can do like kind of smaller micro sets as well. So the Kickstarter we just launched, actually that just wrapped, I think you can still back it. It's for this comic property called The Few and Cursed. It's based out of Brazil, and an amazing group of artists. I haven't read the whole series, but the bits and pieces that I've started to read, it's a very cool storyline. It's this like kind of set in a demon world full of like cowboys and like mythical creatures full of like demons. It's a very cool set, and it's only going to be 10 characters, and we're putting it out as like as two decks that you purchase, and then there's extra add-ons and stuff that you can buy as well, but it's going to be the bulk of the kind of that comic book properties characters. So we're like, we can't flesh out 30 characters for this set, but we could put together 2 functional, very competitive decks that use 8 to 10 characters from this world that everyone that's a fan of this comic is going to love to play. So, you know, that's opened up our eyes like, okay, well, not every set has to be this major release. It could be, you know, 8 to 10 characters and still, you know, really affect the combinations that people are going to play and open up the world, you know? So like, I don't want to sound redundant, but like, we're talking to like everyone. We go to the licensing expo shows, we're outreaching to all sorts of IPs, you know, like we want this world to like explode, and you know, every character under the sun that we can possibly get our hands on and bring them into this world.
That's it. So you said 8 to 10 characters.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna give you my personal list, and then I want you to say, right? So, 10 characters.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to see in this.
Awesome. Let's hear him.
Love it.
Yeah.
Give me Gojira. Give me Godzilla, full atomic breath. Like, cause yeah, I mean, look, him and Omni Man, that's a fight.
We've got
right?
like in there. I don't.
And so, yeah.
I don't see why we couldn't do a Godzilla in there. That like I think that whole monsters universe of like you could have the different versions. There's like Mechazilla and what were some of the other ones?
No. Go deeper. Give me the original Toho Godzilla. Give me the what's that actor's name? The first Godzilla movie they made in America where like people hate the look of it, and the Toho fans or the Toho films have literally made fun of how they made Godzilla look. The current Godzilla American version, Godzilla 1 or no 0. Yeah, Godzilla 0, right? 0? Yeah. Then the one they did that I cannot remember the name of, where like the tail has a face.
That's a deep cut for me, man. I don't know. I've never seen a Godzilla.
I might be a fan of Godzilla. Look, stop in there. I said 10, man. Wait, look, it's already almost midnight, and I was joking saying we were going to run this long.
Almost midnight.
Then we literally have, all right. And then I want to point out, and then I'm like, I said 10. I've gotten to 1, and I want 10 from you. No more, just here. Let me just run through them, all right? Godzilla, you already got 1. Darkness. I'd love to see Evil Ernie in it, man. I ain't gonna lie. Give me Lobo and a Deadpool that's set to your rules. You know what I mean? Like specifically, even though I know those 2 characters exist. Give me Erica from Something Is Killing the Children, because that's just bloody phenomenal, right? Ooh, yeah. You got like, I ain't gonna lie, Invincible, like an Omni-Man, like you literally have 3 already that I'm like, yeah, those are kind of required. And if you're gonna have Godzilla, well, you gotta have King Kong.
Yeah, there we go. That's
So what's 10? So like no limits. Because look, dude, I just named like so much random crap that I don't want to. The rights to all those properties is going to cost you $500,000 just to make them into the card game.
For sure. But if we're just gonna, you know, sky's the limit sort of thing. There's that character Ultraman, I think is a very cool, like I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't read a single page of that character, but I can tell you the design and the look of that character is just so cool. Like it makes me want to play him on a team and just like see what he was like. I want to see what that character can do. Where do we go next? So there's this is almost purely art driven because remember when I was saying how I would go and buy these like value bags of comics, right? But it's also like the dollar bins and just sifting through the 80s, right? there was a mini series for a Marvel comic called Machine Man, and the covers are just some of the most gorgeous work I've ever seen. And I'm like, I need to have something like that. I need to get something like that in this set. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but as creative director, I'm going to make it a mission to somehow put in like a beautiful, like kind of Machine Man looking portrait. I don't know if we're going to get that character somehow. I don't know, but it's a mission of mine. It's just there's a real respect for that art angle, and that's one that is specifically there, and I'm gonna figure it out. Other characters. That's a really good question. You know, it's hard not to think about like entire properties as a whole. It's the one-off characters. No, that's a good question. Who is it? Mothra, I think would be a fun.
Ah, nice.
What do they do? Do they shoot some sort of energy beam or something? Or
Mothra?
yeah, is Mothra just like
Mothra is a healing energy and will use their wings to attack, creating a giant gust. So you might be thinking of Rodan, who is more a phoenix bird, large type kaiju than anything.
I think that is what I'm thinking of. I'm getting that mixed up. I'm getting my gut.
You like breathes fire.
Yeah. Okay. How can you argue with a giant fire-breathing being?
I don't know, but sometimes I'm doing this show and I'm like, man, my nerd is really deep. So let me just summon Rodan to my head. That's it.
Does that bring us to 10?
Huh?
Does that bring us to 10?
No, you're like 4.
Oh, you want me to list off 10? Oh my God. Oh, man, that's
I'm thinking forever.
I
haven't even gotten it. You know
man.
what's funny? I haven't even gotten into the whole pre-show questionnaire I had you fill out. Like at all. None of this has been touched. And for all y'all watching it now or later or wherever, there's some hilarious answers on here. And you're right. You'd rather fight 5,000 ant-sized horses.
For sure.
No one wants it.
I'm not.
You know, it was a debate over what that number was. I'm telling you, I had to have a whole conversation with somebody. And I was like, how about 500? Oh, that's easy. How about like just giving numbers until it's like, oh, that's sketchy. It's like, okay, that's the number it is. You know, all that inappropriate. You can go check out over at the website, not right now, because actually Eric is up at Brantford Comic Con, which I could tell was a phenomenal time for everybody out there that hit Brantford Comic Con. I hope you had a blast. I know they had a packed house up there. It was phenomenal. But man, still tell your boss to respond. It's too late. He ain't gonna respond. Your boss is like, why is Luke texting me this late about a why do we have the rights of what is he talking about? I don't care. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, he did not answer me, so
You made your boss mad, Luke, and Mike paused it, and that's kind of awesome. And if nothing else, I'm not doing what I normally do. I was fortunate enough. I don't want to look through paper, and it's almost freaking midnight, right? So what I got to say is Image.
Yeah. Skybound. August. Overpower.
Right?
Join that
battle. And then soon after, Uptown, with for some confounded reason, Savage Dragon.
Yeah, he's in there. Like, listen, we didn't want to come in and start off with a whimper. We wanted to land and hit some big gets, and you know, I'm excited, and I really wish I could just say with confidence this other IP, and I might be an idiot and realize tomorrow, like, oh yeah, they've told this to other people, and I want to feel like I'm giving you that respect of like telling you what we know, but I just don't know if they've said it yet, and I know that they had a plan for saying things, so I'm have me on again next week, and maybe I'll be.
It is okay with the show going live and running how I intend to run it going forward. I mean, we might not always do the show live. Sometimes I
Sure.
might record them and then put them up 5 minutes later because they'll be recorded like that. But whatever.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be able to come on here and be comfortable, and I don't want to.
Right.
I'm gonna like sit here and question you like a good interviewer should.
Absolutely.
Bring
And
up people on here for an interview. Do my damn job. You know what I mean? I bet ain't nobody taking my job. This is my job. I'm gonna do my damn job. You know what I mean? It's my job. Yeah. Right.
job to job.
Yeah, but I don't want people like I want them to be cognitively aware of. Hey, I don't want to do something that was stupid.
Oh no, it's all
yeah.
fun. And listen,
Yeah.
this has been a really good time. This has barely felt like an interview.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This has absolutely been a blast.
Can I say, look, and the art on these cards? Oh shit! If I can get my hand in the right. I had to flip my camera, so it's screwing me because I'm like typically if you move the way I just moved, it would shift your hand the other way. But I flipped my camera. Yeah, and just the art on these cards. Is absolutely lovely, and I very much, and I gotta subtract Omni-Man. He's already in the set. I don't care.
Right.
I want Fathom. I want Fathom.
Okay. Well,
I
send
do.
all requests and we'll see.
You look. I don't even know if you guys could get that character. You know what I mean? Just because
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot there, and you guys are doing phenomenal with how you're expanding.
Yeah.
I very much hope that once I press this button I'm about to press that you'll tell me that, but make sure that you don't say anything until I tell you to do something because I don't want something to actually scream out there. Right now,
fair enough.
On that note, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all over. Right? It's all over.
Okay.
Get to the power. Right? And remember.
Power.
Right?
Absolutely.
Do that last thing. Which is have a good night, y'all. And I'll see you later. For another class down the line.
Thank you, everybody, for watching
The QUESTionaire podcast.
Keep a listen out to these crazy guys.
I had known I would have prepared.
I don't know that I'd made that connection myself.
The QUESTionaire.
Stay spooky, stay safe, stay nice.
See you on the next show.